Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Rodan. And today, as you can see, I'm still continuing my Disney movie marathon. We'll talk about the movies, obviously, the TV shows, merchandising, I don't know, whatever the case may be. If it's related to Disney, then there's a good chance I'll be talking about it. Though I haven't talked about the merchandise in a while, come to think about it. Okay, moving on is that I'll get to it, I guess, eventually. So I want to talk about this one religious individual whom I haven't spoken about before. This is like the first time I spoke about this one guy here. So basically, the basic rundown with this individual, yeah, he's supposed to be one of these types of individuals who wants to answer the Lord's call to the ministry as an 18-year-old at the time when he entered doing this whole thing. I mean, of course, that tells you that he'd been doing this his entire life, pretty much. He accepted Jesus as his Lord and Savior, of course. And yes, then there was this whole thing he did in 1952 where he really started to do what he wants, like really wanted to succeed in what he thinks to be right. Billy over here served only three churches his entire ministry of 40 years. The last church he served for 33 years. He has been on the radio in Texas for 29 years. And of course, his video opening was, of course, it is his aim to share with people these things on radio, a program that God serves with me. Do you tell me that God Himself has a direct connection to you specifically? I find that hard to believe. And for this specific podcast here, sermon, whatever you call it, this specific one has something to do with his Walking with God series. He might, with his Walking with God series of serving things, he might focus on a specific thing or person, what have you. In this case, it's Disney. So, with that being said, let's get into it, shall we? Because it's want to put much talk about what's the right path of living and whatnot. Anyway, here we go.
Ever been to Disney World in Orlando, you may not know there's quite a bit of water. I assume it's a lot of man-made lakes. And while on a
Disneyland has a bunch of man-made. Who cares? Hey, let me guess. It has something to do with what you're talking about here, and just trying to tie it in, huh? Oh boy, this is going to be a long one.
cruise boat going from one spot to another, it was pointed out to us that out there in a portion of the island was a little white church, and it was a wedding chapel.
And what does that got to do with anything? And something to do with man-made lakes and you going to Disneyland? What are you talking about? What?
And they said it would hold about 200 people. There was no weddings going on as far as I know, but there's one thing you can say about people who get married, no matter where it is or where the chapel might be located. They all have in their mind the knowledge we're going to live together. I would assume those.
What are you talking about? What does that got to do with anything? Or the complaint you just made a moment ago. When Walt Disney made Disney theme parks, he wanted to actually be like an actual town, like, like a city kind of thing. That was intentional. He wanted people to come together and have a great old time. That was the idea. I mean, there's more to it than that, but that's the core of it anyway. And of course, just have a great jolly time and whatnot. So you're just missing the whole point of what they want to do in Disneyland. But I don't understand. I don't understand what you're talking about here because what you're doing here just seems completely and utterly random.
Get married have that on their mind. They know that at least that's expected of them after the wedding is over. That is, they'll talk together, and they will dream together, and they will work together, and of course, they will walk together. That's what I mean by the term they will live together.
Um, okay. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What does. Oh my god, I just started and I'm already confused as all hell. But okay, what does this have to do with what you just said a moment ago? The man-made lakes or whatever? So what? They want the place to look nice. Whoop-de-doo.
Now, sad to say, after the wedding, some couples are not able to live up to these wedding dreams and envisions and vows, and they end up in a divorce. But when they start out, they at least understand that part of being married involves being together, doing things together. And so they start out with the right idea of togetherness. Another thing quite apparent at Disney World is that you're going to have lots and lots and lots and lots.
And lots. Oh boy. You didn't write the script for this, did you? You know what? You wrote no notes, right? I'm going to say yes because you're clearly just rambling on at this point. Because that's the thing, though. If you have to do a speech of any kind, write a script, write some notes, should be ideal, right? So, what are you doing here exactly? You're just rambling on. I can't even argue that he's a good communicator because he's dry. This entire conversation is dry. Holy hell. Uh, this is some kind of limp dick thing going on here. Let me shut up.
And lots of people. Everywhere you look. It was said that they serve 45,000 meals a day at Epcot.
I don't know where you're getting these numbers from because it just sounds like you're just making these numbers up. But yes, it's open to the public. Obviously, yes. There's going to be a lot, quite. I know you got me saying it. A lot. Oh boy. Anyway. Okay. I mean, yes, there's going to be quite a few people going to the park. Obviously. It's a business. It's capitalism. Of course that's going to happen.
45. And I didn't even eat at Epcot. So I wasn't one of the 45. So maybe there's 100 or 200,000 people in just Epcot alone. And so one thing that you continually are told as you go from various place to various place, stay together. Don't get lost in the crowds. The attendants keep telling you this, don't get separated. Hold somebody's hand, hold their coat tail, hold their hair, but hang on to somebody because when you get in the crowds.
Oh, there's so many people out in Disney World. There's so many people. I'm gonna complain about this. That's how you sound to me. You sound like a get off my lawn, you damn kid. That's how you sound to me. And that's exactly how you sound to me. Like you're just some old bat that's complaining about something. Oh, you old fart. Anyway. I mean, okay, granted, I shouldn't be talking because I'm over 100 years old, but that's besides the point. Because of the fact that you just complain about nothing. You complain about nothing. What is this? Anything have to do with anything you just said a moment ago? Okay, if you don't want to deal with the lines, which is fine, just buy the stuff online or go to a used market, like go to Rasputin or Goodwill. I don't know. They're all options, you know. Get on with the times.
They are crowds, and politeness and courtesy goes out the window. When you stand in line of 5 to 6 to 700 to 1,000 people in a line, and their lines aren't straight. Their lines start out about as wide as this pew. And the line is not straight, it's just all like this. And everybody's trying to get to the head of the line and get to the rides, and it is.
Oh, we're still on this? Okay. Too many people. 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 Oh my God. You know how sometimes typically a straight line would be a straight line, but in this case, since there's so many people at a specific location in the Disney theme parks, you will have to curve a little bit. That happens. Again, it's a business. Of course, that's going to happen. So what?
Pushing, and I mean, you got to hang on to something. And so kids are hanging on for dear life, and people are shoving you and pushing you and stepping on you. It is quite a mob scene. And so they say, be sure that you stay together. And this becomes one of the most important things on your mind almost every hour that you're there at Disney World. You can't forget this. Even if you're walking from spot to spot, you still don't forget this because there's that many people. I never saw a little child in all this crowd crying, saying, "I'm lost." I didn't see one. Because everybody realized the importance and the urgency of this precaution. Don't get lost from those that you have come with. All the way from senior citizens older than me down to the very youngest pushing strollers. Everybody hung on to everybody else. Now, the newlyweds who honeymooned in the park.
Okay, what about marriage? This newlywed couple? I don't know what this got to do with hold on to the kids and everything else you just mentioned, but okay. Again, you're just rambling on. That's all.
Knew this lesson just as well as anybody else did. You walk together. You walk together. This became the number one priority in the park. I want you to get this now. You walk together. Never get separated. You ride together, you walk together, you stay together. Or you may never see this person again for hours if you ever see him again at all. When we got back Friday evening, we had a birthday party to go to. Jacob has reached his first milestone in life. He's a year old. One of the...
Hey, what? Who is this you were Charlie Springer to about? What is this milestone? What has this got to do with anything? What business does this got to do with anything? What he made some kind of a great accomplishment of some kind and he's just a year old? What? Long lines and a lot of people and something about fake lakes or something and donations or something. And the way, what's going on here? What?
Treats, I guess, a little child this age is that they're just learning to walk. And so Jacob is taking his first steps, but eventually he'll get good at that. And it won't be long until the parents begin to say, "You stay with me. You walk with me. You don't just wander off." Because one of the most frightening things I still remember as a child is getting lost in pennies downtown Houston. I don't know where my parents went to, but when I looked up, they were gone. And I was lost. It's important that we teach children that you walk with Mama. And you walk with Daddy when you're in an area that you don't know where you are and you could get separated.
Look at me! I'm raising my voice for some unspecific reason. Yeah, because long lines. What's happening here? I'm confused. What's with the constant yelling? Oh boy, I don't understand why these Christians need to do that. You need to yell and yell some more for some reason. I'm trying to make my voice sound firm. I don't know. This is stupid. Anyway.
And all of us have run across children, lost in the grocery store, and they just, it's one of those frightening things that you can experience. Now I want to try and bring all these illustrations into focus for today's message. Salvation makes you the bride of Christ. That's the wedding chapel. You can't connect it, all right? Number two, salvation does not remove you from the crowds and the mobs of people surrounding you at work, at play, in the neighborhood. You're surrounded by people all the time. So salvation does not remove you from all.
So having a crowd of people in a Disney theme park, I don't know what Disney theme park you went to, but you're acting as if that you're using this kind of like a metaphor in some ways because you shouldn't be distracted to study your Bible and whatnot. What are you talking about exactly?
These people. Salvation also renders you a little child. That's the result of being born again. Today our main stress in the church is on people getting salvation. And we often refer to this as making a decision course, a decision to be saved by Christ. But it seems that the bride does not understand that after the union with Christ that they need to walk together. That is, you need to walk with the groom. Somehow we have not gotten this across to people. I just said I'm the bride of Christ. Do you walk with Him? Well, no. No. Do you talk to Him? No. Do you see Him every day? No. I mean, are you with Him? No.
No. Are you trying to say the word no? No, ma, da. What are you saying there? I don't get it. You're rambling on again. I know he's trying to use the whole crowd thing as a metaphor, like I said a moment ago, for the way of life, but I don't get any of this.
We have a strange concept, you see, when it comes to salvation. We don't understand we have to walk with the groom. So, well, I walk with Him Sunday morning at church for an hour. But how about the rest of the whole week? No. And then the Christian, we ask him, when you got saved, did you continue to walk with God in the crowds?
Again, the whole thing with using the whole crowder thing as a metaphor, as a way to stick with Jesus and whatnot, and to make sure you stay in the correct path of life and what? Okay. Who's being distracted here? Ain't I? Or you?
Would anybody know that you're walking with God all around you? You said, well, no. Did you stay together? Or did you go back and walk with the crowds and get separated? Well, I found Him on Sunday. Where was He the whole week? Well, I don't know. I was so tied up with the crowds. And it seems that the born again, we don't have the concept of holding the Father's hand as a little child. We just wander off.
Okay, he's using the 1-year-old child again, like I was saying, as a metaphor. The 1-year-old child he just mentioned a moment ago to the way of life. You're a little kid, and Jesus the adult here, and we're in Wonderland, metaphorically speaking. It's stupid.
Wander here and wander there, and never once ask, where is Dad? Where's the Father? Now there is an awareness of needing to know that you belong to God, that is to know I'm saved. But some folks say, I don't have any awareness of a need to walk with God. You begin to get that need when you go to Disney World. That you need to be aware that you're walking with the person that you came there with. Now, God's command about this matter is very clear. Again, we go back to the book of Micah. Micah's almost near the Old Testament. That'll help you a little bit. Micah chapter 6, verse 8. Oh man, what is good? And what does the Lord require of you? Now notice what God requires of us.
I still don't know what any of this has to do with anything. But you're telling me I can't enjoy anything, really? Because if I disagree with whatever you're trying to say, I'm somehow going against what God has in plan for me. That doesn't make any sense. Why can't He just tell me? Why can't God tell me right now? Why do I have to come to you specifically to hear the word of Jesus? God, St. Peter and all that. Why can't they just tell me instead? No, really, right now. This very second. Literally, right now. As I make this video, have them tell me. I don't need to go to you to hear this at all.
This is not optional. To do justly, number one. To love mercy, number two. But notice the third one. The Lord requires that you walk humbly, not before the Lord, but you walk humbly with the Lord in King James. There are a few occasions that I know of when you will walk together as man and wife, bride and groom, as close.
Why you gotta assume my sexual orientation? I mean, that's not me trying to confirm or deny anything, but the last time I checked, my sexuality isn't any of your business. And again, what does this got to do with anything? You're just rambling on about nothing. Like, at all. This is a nothing sandwich. This is not normal. None of this is normal. You're just rambling about nothing. This is so stupid. And guess what? I'm going to still buy some Disney doll stuff, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about that. So, haha.
As you would do at Disney World. From the time we got up, we walked together that morning to the bus stop. You stay together now, and you get on the right bus. There's a bunch of them. And they all go in different places. And we sat together. Now, we're starting out, folks, pretty early now. We're together. We got off the bus together. For the next 14 hours, we walked together. Do you understand the picture? I'm not talking about the bus riding time. 14 hours in the park.
We're almost like 25 minutes into this video, and I still don't know what you're blabbing about. What about spending 14 hours on a bus ride? This is like Greyhound. Am I on a Greyhound somewhere? What's the location? And why is that like location? What's happening here? I know I'm not getting the full picture here because you're not connecting dots really well. This is I don't know what's going on exactly. I really don't. I mean, I know you're supposed to talk about the core values of family, and yes, this ties into the idea we have to stick together, the family structure, and the way of Jesus and all that, but I'm still confused here, really.
You're almost elbow to elbow, hand in hand, shirt tail to shirt tail, 14 hours. And that went on for 5 days. You ride the bus back, same way. Walk back to the room, same way. I mean, you're talking about togetherness. Most of us have no concept of from 10 o'clock in the morning to 1 o'clock at night, never leaving the side of the person that you're with. Every ride, you ride together. Well, if you don't like who you're with, you're in real trouble at a place like this. And this is what God says is what He wants.
Why can't God tell me directly instead of you? Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I know what you're going to say. People like you have often said that I would have to have a personal relationship with God in order to receive His message, which in itself doesn't make any sense because if God exists, He would have done it anyway because according to you people, He's all-powerful and all-knowing. Then He would have known that I'm acting this way before I was even born. So why didn't He do that? Why didn't He do that regardless? Why do I have to believe in Him in order to receive His message? If He really cares about me, if He really cares about my internal soul, shouldn't He just tell me anyway? And it's up to my decision to accept it or not? Wouldn't that make more sense? But then again, we're talking about religion here, so logic and religion don't really go hand in hand, really. What? Besides all that, why would He even care if I buy these dollies? Why does He care? Why of all things in the entire universe would He care about this, really?
When He says you're to walk with the Lord. That is, what time you're not sleeping, then you're going to need to be walking with the Lord. That's just about the situation that everybody was up there with. Not walking with the Lord, but what time they didn't sleep, they were walking together with each other. And yet sometimes we find that we don't grasp this with walking with the Lord. You say, well, I had a brief prayer a few minutes this morning. That lasted about, 5 minutes? 5 minutes I walked this morning. And then, of course, at noon I had table grace. I walked about 20 seconds. And read a couple of verses in the Bible and a little devotion. That took about 5 minutes. We talked about now not even 15 minutes in which the average Christian says, I walk with the Lord, and the Lord.
So, in other words, if you can spend like 4 hours, 3 hours, or maybe 4 hours at a Disneyland theme park, then it shouldn't be much of a problem to spend like a few minutes or several minutes to look up certain things, certain stories from the Bible. What are you talking about? Again, I don't. What? Yeah, basically, this sounds like a guilt trip. That's what I'm saying. It sounds like a guilt trip here. And also, what I'm doing with my spare time, it's none of your business. It's none of your business at all. Again, why does God care what I do if I do this? So what? Whoop-de-doo.
Well, I'm talking about 16 hours. Boy, is there a big difference between our concept of walking with somebody and the Lord's concept of walking with somebody. And this was really driven home to me as I went to Disney World. I understand what it means to walk with somebody. You don't ever get away from them. Now, that's the concept that God says, I want you to have. When Jesus said, Lo, I am with you always. That's the kind of walking that He says I got in mind. The Bible says, walk with the Lord. I don't know many Christians, and I confess myself, I don't walk with the Lord like that. I guess I spend more time walking with the Lord when I'm writing a sermon. It never dawned on me that you get up this morning, when you get up, whatever, 6, 7, 8 o'clock, and you're going to walk with Him. You go to bed tonight. Every minute you're going to walk with Him. Now, it's no simple matter for us to, I have found, to let go of the hand of the world, the crowd, and take the hand of the Father.
Alright, let me make that more simple. Even though what he's saying is completely moronic, and it still doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but in other words, what he's trying to get at is, if you go to Disneyland, that very crowded place he's whining about is bad, because, I guess because you could get distracted. You're supposed to latch on to your family, aka God and all that, and whoever believes in Him. That's your family, and you're supposed to hold Jesus' hand through the madness of your life, the craziness of your life. He knows life itself can be a struggle, and Jesus can help you through all that. Oh, shut up. So, yeah, it just goes into what I'm always saying when it comes to these religious folks. Always study the Bible and nothing else.
Sometimes I'm walking more hand in hand with the crowd of the world than I am with the Father. Hours of television, hours of people at work. I never think about the Father. I'm more in contact with them, walking more with them, spend more time at lunch with them than I ever do. But I'm supposed to switch hands, let go of the hand of the old crowd and take the hand of the Father. It's no simple matter to let go of the hand of the devil and take the hand of the Holy Spirit. Or take the hand and let go of the flesh and take the hand of the Holy Spirit, which is to be our guide. Because you see, these have been our walking companions most of our journey. Have they not? We have spent almost all of our hours every day walking with the devil, the world, the flesh.
Oh, wow. Okay. In other words, if you go to Disneyland, the crowded place that he keeps whining about, it's no different than walking with Satan. He's literally comparing going to Disneyland in the crowded place to walking with Satan. What the hell? Moronic. It's so stupid. Why doesn't God just get rid of the devil right now? He had no problem killing his own creation off before. I mean, he had no issue with the whole Noah's Ark. I mean, he flooded the entire world, killing hundreds of thousands of people, and he didn't mind banning Eve and Adam from the Garden of Eden.
Constantly. We're walking with them. They're influencing us, talking to us, touching us, influencing everything we say or do. It's either the devil or the world or our own lusty flesh. It's the crowds of the world that we walk with. I'll get to that in a minute. It's the flesh that we walk with. We're always talking to the flesh. It's always talking to us. What it says is not good advice, but we're talking to it a lot. We often give the devil an audience into our mind and with his suggestions. And it's their drumbeat that we dance to, and it's their suggestions that we follow, and it's their demands that we satisfy, and it's their voices we recognize. We're walking with the wrong group, people, as Christians. And we do it almost every waking moment.
You don't know me like that, you lying heathen. So, who are you to judge me? And you don't even know me on a personal level in any shape or form. So you claiming I'm a sinner without even getting to know me like at all. So, okay, the devil isn't real anyway. There is no Satan. There's no devil. There's none of that. There is no hell. Why would there even be a hell? If you don't study the Bible, if you do properly, it won't make any sense. Why would God allow him to live?
We hold hands with our TV more than we hold hands with God. And this is not the way it's supposed to be. And no wonder, I guess, the Father seems so distant and the walk with God seems so strange. The unsaved man, he doesn't walk alone. He walks with the world. He walks with the flesh. He walks with the devil. And they are his constant companions. And it shows in their lives. And they're continually suggesting and feeding his mind with all kinds of ideas. And salvation comes along and says we're going to change this whole arrangement. That's the purpose of salvation. And people say, well, I just want to get saved. I don't want to change the walking arrangements. It doesn't work that way. You walk out of sin, you meet God, and then you walk with God. And so it's designed to break up this old walking pattern, this old walking friendship that we have with the three enemies, this old companionship. Salvation's designed to break that all up. Take my hand from one group and put my hand in the group for the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Okay, but why can't I just enjoy Disney and enjoy God's company at the exact same time? Why does there have to be a separation of the two exactly? Just, what? Why does it have to be separate? I know you're trying to give an explanation here, but your explanation that you're giving here makes zero sense. Like, at all. Why does it have to be two separate things have to do? I don't know. Just, it's bizarre. It's really bizarre when you think about it.
So the command goes out after salvation. You're God's child. Now you walk with the Father. You walk with the Father. And you are Christ's bride. Now you walk with the heavenly groom. And you are a believer. And so now you walk with the Holy Spirit, which is your teacher. Now, if you're a born-again believer this morning, you ought to feel this inner compulsion. You ought to feel a tug somewhere within your spirit to walk with God. Now, if you don't feel anything towards walking towards God, there's something wrong.
There's nothing wrong here, like at all. And by the way, folks, I'm just going to keep this in one video. I'm not going to do several parts. I'm not going to do it, not even a couple parts, or even a few parts, because I don't feel like it. I'm going to keep this on in one, so yeah, just, it's just going to be real long because of that. So anyway, yeah, his original sermon here, he goes on for like almost 30 minutes. So let's just wrap it up, shall we? So whatever, I don't know.
Something wrong. The girl who marries a boy that feels no desire to walk with him, is something wrong. Something wrong. There were a lot of young women, young girls at that. Oh, no, Mickey World. But I didn't feel him tugging my heart to walk over and walk with them. I didn't feel any desire.
So you're telling me you have no willpower? Is that what it is? I still don't get it. Okay, just because studying the Bible 24/7 works for you, it doesn't mean it's gonna work for me. Why do you have to treat life itself like it's a one size fit all kind of thing? That doesn't make any sense, at all. Oh boy. So anyway, can we just finish this up? This is so, it's dumb.
Now, it may have been there with some folks, but I mean, this was not a compulsion that I felt. I felt I should walk with my wife. And you say, well, that's natural. Well, if I have God as my Father and Christ as my groom, would it not seem natural that I would want to walk with Him? Does not seem logical?
You said logical. No. None of this makes any sense. No, absolutely nothing else makes any sense. Why would God be so damn controlling of what I'm doing? Why does it matter? I mean, if He's all compassionate, He will let me have fun. Why do I have to be paying attention to Jesus and all that all day and every day until I die? Isn't that what a narcissist would want? That sounds exactly what a narcissist would want. Is that you tell me Jesus Christ is a narcissist? Praise Him and giving me all your time to Him and no one else? That's stupid. That's incredibly stupid.
What was some woman thought I'm going to start walking with her? You know, don't belong together. And you say that's right. And if I'd done so, it'd been a scandal. Well, it's not a scandal if I don't walk with my Father and my groom, and I walk with the flesh and the world and the devil. Is there any difference? No, I can't see there is. If you're not walking with God, then you ought to feel nervous. You ought to feel...
And why would I want to feel nervous? Okay, well, what's the point of feeling nervous? What are you talking about? Why would I? Why should I? So it just comes off like, if I don't pay attention to God, I'm going to be sent to hell forever. Well, I'll be tortured. That sounds like an abusive relationship. So you tell me that God is abusive and He's a narcissist? Obey me or I'll punish you until the end of time. What?
Uneasy. You ought to feel some kind of alarm going on in your life. You ought to be frightened or fearful. Something ought to be going on inside our spirit that's wrong. We ought to be ashamed if we're somehow taking the hand of the world and the flesh and the devil.
There is no devil. At all. Again, even if I want to play ball, and accept that there is a devil, which there isn't, but if I want to accept the idea there is a devil, why would there be a devil? Why would a devil exist anyway? God should have punished him a long time ago, but for some bizarre reason, He didn't. He doesn't mind punishing humans all the damn time, yet He won't do that to the devil. That's really weird.
And walking with them just as in the past, at the same time claiming that we are a child of the Father and a groom or a bride of the groom. Let me give an experience of what I'm talking about. Something ought to be going off in our mind that says, this is not right.
What's not right? What are you talking about? What do you mean? What does any of this mean? What, you tell me that people can have their own ambitions, can have their own dreams, they can't have their own way of life, so you're against people being happy. That's what it sounds like. You're against people being happy. So people can't be happy? God doesn't want people to be happy, at all? Oh, what? But of course, you're trying to turn it around and be like, if you go to Disneyland and whatnot, you're the one that is going to ruin people's lives. What? So I'm the bastard in the situation? What? So I'm the prick. For what? Well, I guess Elvis as well, because Elvis doesn't mind going to Disneyland. So you're both criminals in your eyes? That's what? That's stupid. So you're telling me that Elvis is going to hell because he likes to play those Star Wars games quite often, which he wants to do for his for his channel, by the way, in case anyone was wondering. He wants to play a Star Wars game. So you mean to tell me Air Force is going straight to hell, where he's going to be tortured by Satan until the end of time, just because he disobeyed Jesus and all that? So why would Satan want to just torture anybody anyway? You think he would just welcome you with open arms because we're just obeying God? So, by the definition of your logic, the lack thereof, say, that Satan, the devil, Lucifer, or whatever you call him, he will welcome us with open arms because we were rebelling against Jesus. Isn't that what devil wants? Isn't that what Satan wants? Us to rebel against God? So why would he torture us anyway? I don't get any of this.
If you're not walking with the Lord, something should be saying at that moment, this is not right. Something's wrong here. You ought to feel that wrong going on. You ought to feel uneasy when you're in that kind of situation. I got the wrong hand of the wrong person. Something's wrong.
No, there isn't anything wrong here. At least not with me anyway, nor Air Force, or anybody that enjoys Disney, whether it's their movies, merchandising, or their theme park. The only person that seems rather odd, it's you. You're the one that's talking out your ass over nothing. There's nothing to complain about. There's literally nothing to complain about. You're making something to complain about. You complain about people going to the Disney theme park rather than staying home and studying the Bible. Oh, go to church. That seems really controlling, don't you think? That's because it is. It's very controlling.
They went to a place, one of the attractions there, it was called Pleasure Island.
Yeah, but by the way, folks, that's a reference to Pinocchio, Pleasure Island. Yeah, that was a thing in the Pinocchio movie. Whether this is the remake version or the original version, it doesn't matter which one. But it's a reference to Pinocchio. So you mean to tell me? Let me guess. You think it's about sex, right? Is that what it is? You think it's about sex? Get it? Pleasure Island. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Hey, if that's the case, you're the pervert. I didn't think of that. Anyway.
The name should have rung a bell in my mind, you know.
You're a very odd man. You're very odd. So what's so funny? What is so funny here exactly? I don't get you. What's so hilarious? I don't understand.
Anyway, it was brightly lit up, you know, and there was a
You're mumbling. So what you doing now? You're mumbling.
people. They stayed up until 2 o'clock.
So, and that's not your business. So what? Can't we just wrap it up already, please?
Told me something else too, you know. But anyway, I got this long line. You go in and had the turnstile and want to stamp my hand. I was like, I don't need no stamp.
Okay, he was it was mumbling. It was way too much. Okay, I got the gist of it though. Because you know how in Disney theme parks you need a stamp like for an all day pass or whatever. Oh, I don't need that if I go to heaven. I don't need that to see Jesus. All that jazz. You're trying to do a comparison thing there again, which is so stupid. What? Okay. Christ, he looks like the really uppity type that would get just triggered over everything. Like if we have Princess Anna in a two-piece swimsuit in and nice legs though, I'll give her that. Anyway, just at the beach enjoying herself with this warm sand and all that. I bet he would just flip his shit, like just getting all mad and everything. I mean, you get this bothered or over the fact that I would just buy stuff at the Disney theme park and the fact that I would go to the Disney theme park and get mad. I mean, really, you get this uppity just because women look a certain way. This would bother you? Of course they would. Of course that's going to happen. Obviously, because a lot of you Christians are really uppity, really super uptight just because of that. Anyway.
I got a pass that gets me in and out of anything all the time. I'm not coming back in. Don't know. And they put a band around my wrist. And I said, what's this? Like a hospital band. I said, what's this for? I said, well, that states that you are legal age to drink. I'm 62 years old, you know. And I said, I don't drink. I don't need that. Oh, you have to leave that on.
Yeah, boy, you're the type of person to say that the woman's only purpose in life is to bring children into the world. You're the type of person to get overexcited over, I don't know, whatever that was you were just doing a moment ago. And you're the type of person to tell that a man and a woman should get married just to produce, you know, be fruitful and multiply. Shut up. Well, this is bizarre, like I said earlier.
I said, all right. So we walked in, and something said to me, and when I went in there, Vinny, we're not going to walk in here very long. We're not going to walk together very long in here, buddy. So anyway, about that time there was coming a Mardi Gras parade down the middle of the street. And
Are you saying that happened in Disneyland? When did this? Okay, whatever you're saying. When did that happen? You're just rambling on. We're almost done here, by the way. That is with his portion of this segment of video. You're almost done, and I still don't know what the hell we're talking about here, like at all. What are you getting at exactly? I'm so confused. But then again, I've been confused since the beginning of the video, so there's that, I guess.
right off the bat, I said, this was in honor of the goddess Diana and the god Zeus. And I said, oh, man. Anyway, here you really better stay together. I'm talking about stay together here, like glue. Because this is a younger crowd. And if there's any manners at all, it's gone.
So, okay, in other words, you're not allowed to have any fun. Your definition of fun is not exactly what I would call fun. Quite frankly, it sounds like the exact opposite. Extremely boring. It's just what do you think to be the truth for life? Like what works for you? Like I was saying earlier, what works for you exactly is not gonna work for anyone else. It's not a one size fit all kind of thing. If anything, it just comes off controlling. Well, that's not surprising. Of course you would do that. This is the church we're talking about here. Of course you're gonna do that. Obviously. Anyway, and that's the thing. You just to stay happy and whatnot forever and ever, you have to stick with Jesus, which doesn't make any sense, like at all.
You saw that shoving and pushing. And you look over the right, I can't go in there. I mean, I can't go in there. And so it got on down the street, and it got wilder and wilder, and we got down and made let's get out of here. And we couldn't. I mean, the people were so packed and standing still and screaming and hollering you couldn't hear yourself think. And we couldn't get out.
Oh boy. I mean, of course, in Disneyland, it's going to be crowded, it's going to be noisy and whatnot. Of course, that's going to happen. There's a lot of people. So you mean these individuals who go there are a bunch of sinners, and the people who work there, the employees, I mean, are also sinners according to you? Because they're not living a life that you deem to be necessary? That is so stupid. What are you talking about? You're just a control freak. Like a lot of these Christians are.
But I said, I'm uneasy. I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. This is not the place to walk with God. It's just not. We've got to get out of here. It was a den of iniquity is what it was. And I was uneasy and miserable the whole time that I was stuck in.
So you're telling me that you want people to pay attention to you? So you're gonna get the word of Christ out? That makes you really needy. You're so needy. So you want people to only communicate with you because you have the word of Christ? That's dumb. It's dumb. I keep saying the word dumb here. I said it way too many times. Anyway, you're just needy. You're just very needy because you act as if you have the true word of life.
And it was walled in. I just couldn't get out by people and by fences. But finally we got out. And I took the wristband and threw it away. I said, thank God I'm out of this place. But now, I felt I couldn't walk with God in there.
Again, you're complaining about nothing. Oh no, it's really noisy. There's so noisy. People are talking at once. Again, you're complaining about nothing. This is literally nothing. This is old man yelling at cloud kind of a thing. That's you. You're the old man yelling at cloud. It's nothing. This is so beyond. It's hilarious when you think about it.
Something said to me, you can't walk in here. And I couldn't. All my mind was on was getting out of that place. But the other people in there were having the time of their life. They were lined up to get in, and I was trying to get out.
Why are you so mad at these people? Why are you so angry? They just have, like you said, trying to have the time of their lives, as they should. Why are you so mad? I mean, you explained it, yeah, but you did such a poor job of explaining. You failed to convey what your message here exactly. What does any of this have to do with anything? You pessimist bastard.
I didn't think like they did. But I wasn't walking with who they were walking with. This was the worldly crowd, folks, and I couldn't walk with them anymore. There was a day after done it, but I couldn't now. Something inside of me was different. I had sometime in my life become the bride of the groom. I changed hands. I'd become a child of the Father.
You're so miserable. That's what you are. You're very miserable. I guess like the old saying goes, misery loves company, I guess. That's what you are. You just want to stick to the old fashioned stuff, by which I mean like the nuclear family, where you just want a lot of people to marry and have a truck ton of babies. And then when those kids get old enough, just repeat the process. And they have those babies, and those babies will grow up and have kids of their own, etc., etc.
A student of the Holy Spirit. I may not walk with the Lord as I should, and I don't. But I tell you, I wasn't happy walking there. It's the only place in the whole theme park I didn't like. I didn't feel uncomfortable. But I found that this was,
Many individuals like him believe that American is a Christian nation, which it never was, and it shouldn't be ever. It's not now, nor ever it should be. Because that comes off like a dictatorship. According to people like this, it should be a Christian nation because it's the only way to live the truth. Well, your version of the truth, anyway. But at the end of the day, you just want to control people. This sounds like a damn dictatorship. And of course, according to people like you always just think that it's the liberals or the Democrats that's trying to control people. When in reality, that's you. You're the one trying to do this at the end of the day when you think about it. But okay.
something happened inside of me, you see. And I believe it's inside of you. And we know that this is not the place for me to walk. Because it's not the place where I can walk with God. God will walk me right out of here. And He did. And He did. I'm in this series hopefully to try to learn how do you walk with God 16 hours a day. As I walk with my wife that 4 or 5 days in Orlando. How do you do that? How can you have a walk that
Yeah, 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 yada yada yada. Wifey, kids, and all that. I'm just ending here. That's it. I'm done. I'm done. This is just, he's just bitter. He just sounds like a bitter old hack who hasn't really lived, like at all. Not really anything about it. But okay, of course, Disneyland has now been this mega corporation, and of course, they have these theme parks in the United States, and it also branched out into various ways. It's not just one Disneyland. There's like many iterations of this. There's Tokyo Disneyland, there's Paris Disneyland, and there's also Disney World, Disneyland, and Disney Resort. Like I said, it branched out to multiple things as well. It's not just Disneyland. No, no. It has each of the version one business thing has its own separate thing as well. It's just there's multiple things as well. It's not just one single thing as many people seem to not really recognize. That's something that people don't seem to bring up really, like at all. There's variations of this, of course. Like I said, it's not just one single thing, like at all. Yeah, let's wrap it up. I don't think I'm gonna have time really to discuss a lot of stuff because a lot of this was just spent on that moron because he makes no sense at all. And there's a lot just to talk about the Disney theme parks themselves. There's a lot to discuss here. Like because like I was saying a moment ago, it does multiple divisions. It's not just one single thing. There's multiple. Like I was saying, the first one opened, from my recollections, opened at 1955, July 17th, and it was direct. It was under the direct supervision of Walt Disney when it was alive, of course. It took a while, obviously, Yeah, Walt Disney himself initially envisioned this tourist attraction, so to speak, as connected to studios in some way or another to pretty much entertain fans who wish to visit, of course. But soon he realized that this site was too small for the ideas he had, so he had to expand and expand and expand. And even then, he realized not even that's enough. He has to go to multiple other places as well. And yes, the Disney studios realized that it has to basically expand as not just, which obviously is going to be pretty tough to do because there's a lot of things that could go wrong and whatnot. And so it's going to be really stressful to do when you think about it. But as for the nuclear family kind of thing, this individual who made a video about wants the whole nuclear family to return, like having two kids, maybe a brother and a sister or whatever, and just have them get married with other people and have to start the whole shebang again. The whole thing with the nuclear family, which pretty much is a group of individuals consisting of parents and their children, one or more, typically living in one house residence. And of course, it is a strong contrast to a single parent family or maybe an extended family or a family with more than two parents, I believe. Nuclear families typically center around a married couple, of course, which may have any number of children, one or more, couple or three or what have you. Yes, obviously there are differences in definition among observers, obviously, and this kind of a thing could go an entire video on itself. There's a lot to discuss about this as well. And yes, religion is tied into this, of course. But anyway, some definitions of this nuclear family only allow the biological children who are of full-blooded siblings and consider adoption or half or step siblings as a part of the immediate family, but others allow for a step parent or maybe along with the idea of any mix of dependent children, including stepchildren and adopted children. Like I said, this could go on for its own thing as well. This aspect of the video, but this video is almost an hour long. It's almost there, so it's just about done here. But there's still quite a bit to discuss when it comes to this kinds of stuff. I mean, quite a bit. It could be interesting in its own way, I guess, to some extent. And now that in today's society, it's more accepting. Of course, you throw that into the mix. Where, like, okay, what do you consider as a nuclear family? Does no nuclear family exist anymore? Or maybe people these days have their own definition of what they believe to be family and whatnot. Do you mean they get adopted symbiotically? Maybe does that count? I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. Just I don't know. Whatever. That's it. I'm done. I'm done. Thanks for watching, folks. This has been a long ass video, and I appreciate anybody for watching. I don't mind doing these kind of videos and whatnot. They just get very exhausting when you think about it. Anyway, that'll be it, folks. Thanks for watching, and take care. And until next time, see ya. Oh yeah.